Good morning and welcome to Catawba Trail Farm. My name is Delphine Sellers and I am the Executive Director and Co-Founder of Urban Community Agronomics, more locally known as UCAN. And the purpose of UCAN primarily is to create access to individuals who have been historically or systemically disenfranchised and give them access to an opportunity to grow and raise their own healthy vegetables, access to open green space, and just access to building a community where you can learn in a supportive environment.
Thank you so much for sharing that with us, Delphine. And can you tell us a little bit about how the Ag Economic Development Grant Program has helped influence your operation?
Okay, well, let me first, I think in order to understand, we are reclaiming an old farmstead. It hasn't been farmed in over 70 years. So when we initially started this project or this program or this vision and this mission in 2018, there were fallen, decaying buildings, old trees. I mean, it was forest the whole 9 yards. So we had to clear this land. And in clearing it, it required us to actually build an infrastructure. So we created a garden, which is this 47 raised bed garden, and built a fence. And for the first year, we watered all these garden beds by hand. How did the agriculture, soil and water and agriculture help us? The first thing they did was give us funding. It was reimbursable, but at least gave us funding so that we could dig a well. You never know, you don't never miss what you don't have until you don't have it, and that's water. So to go from watering these beds on a daily or every other day basis by hand to being able to turn on a switch and water them, because now you have a well and you don't have to transport water in, that's tremendous, okay? So that was our first year, okay, or going into our second year. We were very fortunate that we received support once again, because not only do we want to teach people how to grow and raise beds, but raised beds cost money. So we want to teach people how to grow traditionally. So we cleared another small portion of land and closed it in a fence to do traditional agriculture. That is, planting in the ground the way our forefathers did. Well, what did we find out that year? The area that we wanted to plant in floods. So our crops all failed in that area. Again, thank God for Soil and Water and Agriculture Extension for being there for us and for the county, because we were able to get another grant to allow us to dig a swale. Now, swale directs the water flow, and therefore now we are able to plant in this area. So we will be growing lots of watermelons, cantaloupes, pumpkins, and other things. Whereas last year we planted our heart out, and we got very little results from that simply because of flooding. So those are the two major things. I mean, but aside from that, it's just having some place to go to ask a question. To me, that's part of the learning process, and to have someone to go to that you trust, that you can learn from, get suggestions from, get recommendations, is worth its weight in gold.
Thank you. That was wonderful. And we're really happy that you shared that. I did want to ask you, is there a way for community members to get involved with the work that you do here on the farm? And how does the farm participate in the community?
Yeah, I mean, actually, this is a community project. Of the 47 raised beds right now, over half of them are what I call rented by community people. Single parents, teens, you name it. We're very diverse. I mean, we could not have done this without the community. I think you need to understand that we just now have our very first paid employee, and it's not me, the executive director. And that paid employee is part-time. So that says then what? We've been dependent on volunteers and our board. So the community helped us to build this, okay? So the community is already involved. But then the other part of it is, one of our purposes is to teach people to grow their own healthy, nutritious foods. So of these 47 raised beds right now, over half of them are rented by community people who come out here, such as the small group you just saw, on a regular basis to tend to their garden, get advice, and harvest their vegetables. And when I say rented, that means for $100 a year, you get the bed already done, already built, with all the soil already in it, and that $100 helps us to buy pest control supplies and materials. So that's how you can get involved. Come out and learn how to do this. And learn how to grow your own. There's nothing better than picking a squash from your own squash plant, or harvesting your own lettuce. It lifts the spirit. But the other thing is, we still have a long ways to go for our vision to be exactly where we want it to be. So people can volunteer and come out and help us. We're out here every Saturday, literally every Saturday from 8 to at least 12. And usually I'm out here from 8 to, well, beyond 12, let me say that. But you can volunteer your time. But even if you don't want to dig in the soil, which you can, we doing research on this property as well. This is a former plantation property. So we know all there is to know, not all, but the majority of what we know deals with the Caucasian or the white landowners. We don't know about the what slaves were here. So we're doing research to find slave history, our African American history. We call this the Catawba Trail Farm because there's a Catawba Indian trading path that runs right through it. We don't know about the indigenous history. So if you don't want to come out and get in the sun and get your hands dirty in the soil, you can help us do research. So there's lots of ways for the community to get involved.
That's amazing. And where can the community or folks who are interested in helping out find you guys?
Well, we have a website, and that website is www.ucan.today. What does that say? You can today. And then I thought, okay, I can. So if I can, we can, then what that means? You can. So you look us up on our website. There you will have also a link to our Facebook page, as well as our Instagram, as well as our YouTube.